So with Blasphemous coming out on Nintendo Switch and literally just about everything else, we're going to be diving into this new Metroidvania style game, which honestly is like any other Metroidvania game that I have played yet. So stick around this review. We're going to talk about everything I loved and hated about the game, and let's go ahead and jump right into it.
You know how much I love that Nintendo Switch!
What's going on, Switch fam? It is your boy QKG. So let's go ahead and talk about Blasphemous, that is on the eShop right now for $24.99, which is a pretty decent price. And if you're someone who's been looking into those Metroidvania mixed in with a little bit of Souls gameplay, go ahead and stick around this review and I'm going to get you all that you need to know right now. So first off, let's tackle the story. So you're playing as the Penitent One, which the short definition is feeling of showing sorrow and regret for something you've done wrong. So this story opens up very eerie, to where it's a woman pounding her chest with this statue, and she keeps pounding her chest until literally it's a sword and she ends up dying. And then there's literally a field of bodies that have the exact same armor as you, and it's very eerie, to where you're the only one that gets up, you're the only one that shows color in your armor. So as you get up, the sword talks to you, tells you what you need to do. You're the penitent one. You've done wrong in your life. You want to make sure that you fix that debt. So the game, ever since then, you're just on a rampage, killing any evil being that you can find, helping any lost souls, helping anyone, any of the villagers. If there's a soul that's literally stuck into a tree, he's literally just a husk of what he used to be. He'll let you know what he needs to make him feel better, or if there's anything you can do to save them in their ordeal. So when it comes down to the story is definitely very great in my opinion, just because it's not told in a million different cutscenes, which even if it was, it'd still be very decent. But I just like games that have that very eerie type of vibe to them, to where honestly the beginning story, I'm pretty sure some people may have seen it in the gameplay trailer. The first boss, he literally cuts it open, blood pours out, he tilts his helmet down so it pours into the helmet and then puts it on. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of disturbing, but that's the disturbing I like in games. It literally shows that they're going into a different direction, because that's not stuff you see in games all the time. So the overall just eerie vibe of the game sets the tone very high, and it really shows in the characters, like the different enemies in the game, because some enemies that you run into, they can just be flat out intimidating, and they're not even doing anything but just walking around until you move up to them, and then you find out that they want this work. So the overall atmosphere of the game, the story, even the music is definitely very great in this game. It helps set the atmosphere and the tone of the game. So all in all, the story is definitely great in my opinion, and it kept me playing literally for almost the entire day. Jump into the gameplay, and one thing I would have to say is this game is a non-linear story, so that means you can tackle the game in any direction that you see fit. So it leaves it open for a lot of different replay value. And one thing that this game had me worried about was the combat system, because as much as I did enjoy Hollow Knight, I just wish there was a little bit more of the combat system. This game definitely delivers on all my needs. Whenever it comes down to the combat system, there's a parry system into the game to where you can have a devastating counterattack, and the overall unlock tree for your blade, it has a lot of different unlock trees where you can get a third hit or a fourth hit to your combo. You can get this weird stinger type of launching stab that you can do in the game. And it has a very different unlock tree for a lot of different abilities in the game. And you actually get to use second abilities in the game, which is actually powered by your mana bar that's right underneath your health bar. And that'll help you out in the pinch. So if there's enemies coming at you from both directions, the first ability you get is like a traveling energy wave, to where you can stab the ground and it goes along the different walls until it actually meets each other at the end. So for that, it leaves it open for a lot of different combinations and different combos in the game, so you to actually handle enemies any way that you can. The game will reward you for utilizing certain combos to your advantage. So I have to honestly say the combat in this game is just out of this world right now, man. Like, I did not expect this game to have that great of combat. I will say this game is not for the faint of heart. If you're someone who is a casual gamer that just loves to play games here and there, not saying that don't play this game, but I'm saying you're gonna be stuck on it for a long time, because I'm not gonna lie, there were so many times I got flexed by enemies, I fell off shit, I couldn't platform onto something, and I remember this one section in the game, it's this icy area, to where if the wind blows in a certain direction, your character gets pushed back. So if you're in mid-jump and that wind starts, you all the way back down at the bottom to redo it, or if there's nothing down there to catch your fall and you die, you gotta start back over. So the game literally is very unforgiving when it comes down to the environments. So if you're someone who just wants to breeze through the game, you can't really do that. So you have to make sure you invest just a little bit of time into the game. Not even just time, just pay attention. Pay attention to different attack patterns, what your environment's doing, if there's traps around, if there's like environmental hazards or anything like that. Anything of that nature. Just pay attention. And honestly, if you've played Dark Souls, Salt of Sanctuary, Hollow Knight, any of them other type of games, you'll just do just fine in Blasphemous. Well, the one thing I will say, I do wish Blasphemous had maybe 2 different weapons here and there, like maybe a staff, an axe, or anything of that nature, just to have the regular blade. Even though the unlock tree is very decent, I do wish that there was maybe a few more different weapons here and there, just to see how they would spice up some of that gameplay. But all in all, even though the sword has a pretty decent unlock tree, it definitely seems like it's enough for the game right now. But just for your boy's opinion right now, I just wish there was maybe just a little bit more. As always, let's go ahead and go down a list. So if you're new to the channel, I don't use a actual number score. I use different phrases. So at the bottom, we start off as a what happened, like the game is really buns. And then we have a meh, like I just didn't like it. A needs work. A decent, a fuego boy if the game is absolute fire. And I have to say, this game is fuego boy, just because honestly I can't help but say it. Even though I wish there was more weapons in the game, even though I do, for what's in the game right now, it's very good. And then every time you go to a new section and you find a different enemy, they all look very unique. All sometimes can be very, very intimidating, some not. But all in all, it just feels like a great experience overall. And it feels like I can jump into this game at any point and look at my map, figure out where I haven't been, and just keep going. So I do feel like they tried to simplify the formula a little bit more, not try to make it as roguelike as they wanted to, because some games they wouldn't even give you a map. You would have to either buy it like in Hollow Knight, or you would just be stuck and you just have to roam around and hope you find something. So I would have to say Blasphemous does the formula right. Blasphemous is definitely one of my favorite indie games this year, so I will definitely keep playing Blasphemous, and I definitely want to see if they're gonna come out with any other DLC later on in the year, just to keep the fun going, man. That's all I hope for. That's all I got to say about Blasphemous. I really hope you guys enjoyed this review, and as always, make sure you leave those comments down below if there's any games you want your boy to review next. Drop them in the comments down below, and also join my Discord server, because all the Switch fam is in there. All we do is just talk about games, talk about anything there is, and everybody's cool. So go ahead and join us. So I'd love to thank you guys for tuning in. This is your boy QKG, and peace out.